Alright guys, we are soon approaching the big 2.6 version update, with about less than 1 week away until we get the hype release of the Augusta banner, the 5-star Electro character, coming out in the first phase. So for this video, let's go over everything you need to know in order to properly pre-farm for Augusta. This will include the materials, her best echo sets, viable teams, her best weapons, and a lot more in order to properly get ready for her hype release. Also, if you guys do enjoy the pre-farm guide videos, make sure to like and subscribe, put those notifications on, as I will for sure do the same thing for release in a few weeks. But alright, let's not waste any time and get right into the Augusta pre-farm guide. Starting off with the Ascension materials. If you want to fully ascend her, you'll need the following title residuum: 46 of the Blighted Crown Puppet King, which can be obtained by defeating a new boss introduced in the version 2.6, and lastly, you will also need 60 of the overworld material called Luminous Cadenza. This materials will also be part of the brand new location, part of the 2.6 version update, so unfortunately, we aren't able to pre-farm for that yet, but those will be the materials you will need in order to fully ascend Augusta from level 0 all the way to level 90. Now, in order to upgrade her Forte, however, you will be able to pre-farm all of the following materials. You will need more of the title residuum obtained by normal enemies. You'll also need the following wave-worn residue obtained from the Forgery Challenge materials, as Augusta is indeed a Broadblade character. And lastly, the weekly boss material will be when the irises bloom, which you can farm right now, as this is the Fleur-de-Lis boss, and of course, make sure to have at least 2 million shell credits to fully be able to upgrade the character. Now additionally, for the Forte, the skill priority for Augusta, you will want to upgrade the inherent skill first at the highest priority. The second highest priority would be the Resonance Aberration. After that comes in the Forte circuit, then normal attack, resonance skill, and intro skill. So what you want to upgrade first is definitely the Forte circuit, Resonance Liberation, and inherent skill. And if you guys are in need of lunites for the exciting incoming characters, check out this top-up website called Loot Bar. Loot Bar nearly provides 21% off compared to the official in-game purchases. New users can even obtain a 10% off coupon by using my link in the description. And here's how I got 6,480 lunites for $75 instead of the in-game price of nearly $100. You go to the top-up section, proceed to checkout from the wide variety of payment options, and then provide the account info. Within 3 minutes, the purchase will be completed. The double top-ups are also included, and you can even become a VIP member to obtain various discount coupons. They even have excellent ratings on the Trustpilot website. Check out the link in the description and pinned comment down below to save with Loot Bar. Alright, now to go over her most viable echo sets. Luckily, for Augusta, we are getting a brand new echo set in the 2.6 update. Her best echo set will be called the Crown of Valor, a 3-piece bonus set, which is gaining a shield grants up to 6% attack and 4% crit damage every 0.5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Definitely her best in slot set, as it will match very well with her shield based kit. Now for the main 4-cost echo that you want to go for is the False Sovereign, which will be great choice as it grants 12% electro damage and 12% heavy attack damage, and upon casting the intro skill, the False Sovereign will additionally do a bunch of damage. So with that, this main 4-cost echo will be really good to enhance Augusta's damage output and synergize really well with her heavy attack and shield mechanics. To go back to the echo sets, since the best echo set is only a 3-piece bonus, this means you can also equip a 2-piece set. So the 2-piece options that I would recommend personally would be the Void Thunder set and the Lingering Tune set. And if you really want to play a fully built Augusta on day 1, and you want to pre-farm her echo sets right now, then the Void Thunder set should do just fine. But again, this all depends on which of these echoes have the better substats. Speaking of echo stats, let's go over the priority that you want to go for when it comes to the stats on echoes. For the main stats, the 4 costs would be crit rate and crit damage. This is definitely her most important slot, as crit stats give the highest DPS scaling, definitely good for a main DPS like Augusta. And for the crit ratio, try to go for a 1-2 crit rate and crit damage ratio. And to mention the 3-cost echo, you will want to prioritize electro damage bonus, which will directly boost her main damage output. But alternatively, you can also put attack percent on Augusta, as this will still scale really well with her, but preferably you want electro damage bonus. And lastly, for the main stats, for the 1 cost, you want to go with attack percent. This will ensure the maximum amount of DPS for Augusta. Now the substat priority is going to be crit rate, crit damage. Always these two are going to be your top 2 priorities to maintain DPS. And lastly, the third best would be attack percent if the crit rolls are low. And attack percent is always nice to have as an extra substat. So if you can find a piece with crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and maybe if you want to try to get a heavy attack damage as she scales the most on heavy attack damage, that would be the perfect piece. Alright, now moving on to her most viable weapons. We have quite a lot of options, surprisingly, but of course her best in slot is of course her signature weapon, so let's go over it. So for the best Augusta weapon is the Thunder Flare Dominion, her signature weapon, with a 24% crit rate, which is exactly what she needs as a main DPS, and now the weapon effect increases attack by 12%, and additionally, casting intro skill or resident skill increases heavy attack damage by 20% for 15 seconds, and obtaining a shield, which is able to give herself shields really easily, part of her kit, allows heavy attack damage to ignore 7.2% of the target's defense for 7 seconds, which can even stack up to 5 times, which will in turn give her a massive DPS increase. And to mention, the sword is definitely one of the best looking broad blades in the entire game. That is another reason to pull for it. But now let's say if you don't want to specifically pull on the signature weapon and you want to save these pulls for future characters, then for some 5-star alternatives, you can go to the Verdant Summon Gion signature weapon, as it still provides a main stat of crit damage 48%, and the effect even gives 24% heavy attack damage, stacks up to 2 times when casting Resonance Abrasion or intro skill, which will scale very well with Augusta. So Gion weapon works perfectly on her. And then we also have the Jinsei weapon, Ages of Harvest, 24% crit rate main stat, gives a good amount of damage and stats. There's also the Lustrous Razor, the standard Broadblade 5-star weapon that you can still use in Augusta, providing energy regen, good stats, and some increase to her Resonance Abrasion damage. But of course she scales on heavy attack the most, which is why, surprisingly, the new Battle Pass weapon will definitely be the best 4-star alternative. This new 4-star weapon will grant 40% crit damage from the main stat, and the effect is after casting Deliberation, increases attack by 24% and grants 34% heavy attack damage bonus, which is perfect. And the last mentions would also be the Autumn Race and Helios Cleaver. Alright, so went over all the weapons. Lastly, let's go over her best teammates. We have characters like Yinlin, Mortefi, and Fulova, which will work really well with her. Fulova has good damage herself and on and off field, with also providing heavy attack buffs. Mortefi is a really good free-to-play option, providing 48% heavy attack damage bonus for Augusta, with his outro on top of his decent damage. And we have Yinlin, giving Augusta electro damage amplification, while also doing solid damage herself off field. Another mention, if you want more electro synergy, you can use both Yinlin and Zheng Liao. Now, her best team at launch is definitely going to be Augusta as the main DPS, Mortefi or Fulova as a sub DPS, with Shorekeeper or Verena as a support. Although the best support slot will certainly change once Yuno comes into the game, giving Augusta a 50% heavy attack buff on top of more damage buff and everything else she does with her packed kit. Augusta is definitely looking like an insane main DPS. In terms of animations and kit, they did not hold back. Freezing time for 7 seconds during her ultimate, which will be very strong. Definitely a must pull if you build up characters like Mortefi, Fulova, or even plan on pulling for Yuno. This will conclude the full pre-farm guide on Augusta. So if you guys did enjoy, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and put those notifications on. As always, I got you guys covered with the latest guides and news on everything Wuthering Waves. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.